Hey, Naoki Konishi is going to be approaching us from today on. Didn't you say you only, are around about the beginning of the week? It's definitely not the beginning of the week. And he was the only one who approached us. Oh, right, it's this teacher today. Yeah, he's oddly probably one of the most normal teachers here, despite the fact that he made some creepy comments towards Yukiko earlier. And another classroom question. So, all of these sound kind of funny, but this is actually the correct answer, and I cannot find, like, an article about what this really is online, because if I Google it, every result is just this game. Okay, yeah, I did say that it was in Nicaragua, and yeah, Pai, yeah, that would make sense. Most people who, know stuff about that in Australia know about a place called Yass that's near our capital, Canberra, mainly because there's a McDonald's in Yass, and there's the big McDonald's M right in front of, the town name Yass, and, well, you get the idea. It sounds like something someone would come up with as a joke, but no, it's actually real. Okay, today we have a couple of things we can do. We can go to the practice building, and we'll actually have a side quest that we pretty much completed earlier. Oh, if only it was Kanji. We're gonna be seeing Kanji soon, don't worry. Especially a place where there have been murders. Silver needle ore. And this is what you get dropped from the dice. As you can tell by the icon next to it, that's a Daidara material, so don't go to Daidara and select sell all materials yet. Because you need to give one to this guy. It's dropped by the silver dice in the Maraku striptease. And blah blah, let's give him that. And complete the quest already. 2 uplifting radio. This is like the Olympic tape. It's an item that basically casts Tarukaja on the whole party, which is pretty great. It's essentially a renamed assault signal. And that quest is done. And now that that's done, I'm going to go into town, and I'm going to, firstly, I'm going to go to the shrine and catch bugs, because I forgot to do that for the past few days in a row. It's easy to forget that. But on the other hand, I'd rather the game didn't constantly remind me, you haven't caught bugs today! You should try and catch bugs! Like it does for the hospital janitor job and things like that. I still have not got the timing down for this. Oh, that was too late. You've got to be very exact. Apparently, it's actually a lot easier on PC, probably because of the frame rate. Naoki Konishi is up here near Konishi Liquors, but before we see him, we're going to go to the South Shopping District because now it should be safe to sell all of our Daidara materials. If you got any fashionable dishes from Sky Balancers, don't sell materials yet because you need those for a later quest as well. But I should be safe to sell pretty much everything here. The main thing that I'm interested in selling is thick hide, not tanned hide, thick hide. Yeah, this right here. Because with 5 of those, we can actually make something very important. What can we get out of Fourth Girl's Talc? Rain Skinner. Throwing kunai. A fan. Yeah, the items that you get out of the Rainy Day Shadows drops tend to be pretty effective. Here we go, thick hide. Hard boots. We're gonna need that for a later quest. Heavy heels. Wolf tunic, that sounds pretty cool. I remember that actually being one of the better armors available for female characters for a while. There you go, throwing kunai, +2 agility. All ailments high. Yeah, that was what I was saying about the rainy day drops. I like the plus 40 SP, but I'm not really needing it as much anymore. This is actually pretty solid. Although, I would also like to show him using the fish. Heavy heels aren't that great. Hard boots aren't even that great either. The Adios shoes are pretty amazing, actually. Plus 10 luck. Wow, 50 hit? What is it with Yukio's weapons and having terrible accuracy? Resist silence isn't bad, though. For her, you more want weapons because of the secondary effects. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and load myself up on personas for the upcoming days. I need Hangman now, so let's go ahead and buy one of those. I also need Chariot, Emperor, and Devil. And thankfully you have a very, very cheap option for Devil. I don't know why they give you a Devil persona in Shuffle Time in the first dungeon when you can't start the Devil social link for a while. I feel bad about never really using Pyrojack, but I don't have power. That sounds weird out of context. Marakakaja, Null Physical, and sadly I can't pass any physical skills down to you. I did want Sukunda on something though. I'm making this out of a Yuxini that I just fused because I accidentally bought Oberon and realized I didn't need it because I already had King Frost. Not really sure why this thing has an octopus on its shield, but it's got a pretty decent design. Still don't know why its endurance is so low though. And having Justice personas during everyday life is always a good thing because of Nanako. Although alternatively, I don't actually need Gur anymore, and I already have Archangel for Justice, and Setanta, is also Emperor, who I already have, but that's something else with Null Physical. Like, honestly, I should probably wait to fuse you until I get Kanji's ranks up a little bit, but Null Physical, Marakukaja, Sukunda, and I guess I could also give you Mahama? It's not going to be that much in terms of levels, but it's at least more in the compendium. I had an interesting issue with Setanta in Persona 5 recently, so I fused it during a fusion alarm with some pretty good stats, and it has charge, so that was pretty nice. That's what power charge is called in P5. And only after I fused it, I realized that the strength social link requires you to fuse Setanta with Rakukaja, which I didn't actually fuse onto it. So I had to get rid of that Setanta and fuse it again. And with some space cleared, I can fit a Chariot persona. Okay, so with that all done, we're going to hang out with, I almost called him Saki's brother again. Although, admittedly, if you go into your social links, I think it's actually what they call him here, isn't it? Yep, he's still called Saki's brother, even in the social links menu. Yeah. It's probably deliberate because he's just constantly labeled as that guy whose sister died. It's just...
Hi.
His whole social link is really interesting for that reason.
Yes.
Oh, he's also kind of ironically voiced by the guy who plays Takaya in Persona 3, Derek Stephen Prince, who voices a lot of random NPCs in this game. Everyone in town gets that, it seems. Yes, sometimes I just find this kind of thing really, it's just frustrating when people do that, when they're trying to act sympathetic, but if they never really even knew that person or anything, it's clear they're only doing it just to make themselves feel better. Wow, so this is actually kind of a complicated thing, but you need to actually say this for the most points, which I kind of agree with. I think the idea of what an admirable life is different for every person.
Sorry.
I mean, I don't believe there's any one ideal way we should live.
See you.
You're back.
Okay, when is the corn going to be up 4 days? Well, we can see the description of this corn. 8 days to ripen. Reflect disaster. Well, it might only be a marketing ploy, but in the TV world, that comes true. How fitting for marketing ploys to become real inside the world of the Midnight Channel. That reminds me a bit of Kawakami in Persona 5, but yeah, looks like the boss isn't around today. I just went there to get more breadcrumbs. Tonight we're going to do the hospital janitor job again, but this time something a little more interesting is going to happen. I didn't comment on it last time, but you get more of a courage boost from this if you have read 100 Ghost Stories. Empty room, though. Wasn't that what they told the nurse to check? Well, there is now.
Nice work. I'm Sayoko Uehara. Nice to meet you.
Her voice is really familiar to me, but I can't quite figure out who voices her. Why do I get the feeling she was talking about the kind of hot coffee that got that one Grand Theft Auto game banned? It doesn't actually matter what you say here. I've said earlier that Moon and Tower are some of the traditionally bad Tarot Arcanas. Well, the third one is Devil. It represents the darker aspects of one's self in general, but also temptation, addiction, and being tied down by bad habits. It's one of the few Arcanas to have a more positive meaning when reversed. In that case, representing breaking free from addictive bad habits and confronting your own dark thoughts and growing through that experience. You could say the Devil Arcana is pretty relevant to Persona 4's main themes. Personas of this arcana are very straightforward, mythologically speaking. It's populated by actual devils and demons from mythology, and with the exception of Vitala, they're all Judeo-Christian figures. Fitting with the themes of darkness, temptation, and addiction, Devil Personas specialize in Mudor and ailment skills. Back in P3, they mainly focused on fear and charm, but here they use pretty much all the ailments. The Devil's social link in Persona 4 is quite interesting because it's tied to a part-time job that occurs at night. Every time we do this job from now on, we'll be interacting with Sayako Uehara. The points needed for rank ups are a little deceptive for this one. Even though they're quite low early on, Sayako does not have a lot of dialogue options she really appreciates, so you will be needing multiple spend time events for this one. But that could be an advantage because you're still working every time you go to meet her, which means you get paid and get a boost to courage. But if you're thinking that you should drag this one out to get the maximum money and courage, you can still do the hospital part-time job even after this link is maxed. You also have plenty of free nighttime to finish this one, especially later in the game, so if there's a time conflict, you can afford to put this one on the back burner for a bit.
I'll see you again.
Well, you're a social link now, so we'll be seeing you at least 9 more times. Actually more, because we need a few spend times for this one. Devil's kind of interesting. The schedule for it is a little loose since it's a nighttime link. You don't need to worry too much about running out of time here. And because of that, if you're ever behind on Justice or Hierophant, I would recommend prioritizing them over Devil. And because it's raining again, today we will be doing Mega Beef Bowl, and as always, I'll go over the stats we're looking for. We're looking for Understanding, Courage, and Diligence. Let me actually just quickly check my social stats for a moment. Okay, yeah, Courage is not rank 4 yet. Okay, there we go. Diligence is actually not entirely necessary at this point in the game. The only thing you really need Diligence for in a max social links run is accepting the hospital janitor job. Really, maxing it out is only good for the max all stats trophy, and also for fishing. But fishing is going to be pretty important later, so we may as well get all the Diligence we can get. We actually do need maxed knowledge for something later, so going for knowledge from that beef bowl might actually not be a bad idea. And Tanabata, the festival that most people outside of Japan know of mainly via Jirachi in Pokemon. But it literally just means evening of the 7th. It's usually celebrated around the 7th of July in the Gregorian calendar, and it was originally a Chinese festival. It celebrates the meeting of the deities Orihime and Hikoboshi, who are represented by the stars Vega and Altair. I think it's pronounced Altair. It's kind of interesting because there's a lot of video games and I think Japanese works that reference the Tanabata legend, and in almost everything I've seen, the names get localized as Vega and Altair. Which, I mean, it makes sense because they're the same stars, but still. It's also apparently been mixed with various Obon traditions, and it was first brought to Japan in 755. I'm sure there was something to do with Tanabata in a Pokemon episode at one point, and it wasn't even Jirachi. It must have been earlier, because I know there was a lot of Obon stuff in the early Pokemon anime that, surprisingly, 4Kids didn't censor.
Nice work.
Anyway, we're doing Devil Rank 2 today. How blatant can you get? By the way, this is the option that you actually don't want to choose. It's either A or B. This social link I kind of feel is designed to trip up harem players, because not only is, this is maybe sort of a spoiler, but not only is she not a romance option, choosing, like, dialogue options that give in to her advances is usually bad.
I'll see you again.
You might be wondering what I think about this. Why did I press that? You might be wondering why I think about this character, and especially given my stance on very flirting with the player characters like Margaret and, well, Camilla in Fire Emblem. I'm actually not too bothered by Sayoko. I actually think that she's a lot deeper than she seems at first impression. Reminds me a little bit of Manuela in Three Houses that way, where she did not make a good first impression on me, but I ended up actually really liking her. Yeah, there's stuff that I could go on about that. I feel like it's better saved from when we see a little bit more of Rise, as this guy's talking about. Because people have asked me a few questions about Rise, and I'll get into that probably the next time we go into the dungeon. But anyway, we're seeing Marie today, but we actually need an Aeon persona for that. Can I make Sasi right now? Oni, Gunga, ugh, I like Oni and Gunga. Yeah, I don't know if I'll go for that. It's a little too much money to be spending getting those things back from the compendium, and we're not going to be going back into the dungeon for a little while, so I'll just go for Ame no Uzume again, who a lot of people have thought should have been Rise's persona, but I think Himiko fits really well. Okay, I do have some new skill cards I can give you. For some reason, the Elemental Break skill cards are actually quite, like, early obtainable skill cards. I remember I got one of the break skills via a lucky skill change very early into my Persona 3 playthrough, but that early in the game, they're crazily expensive. Okay then. Marie wants to go to school. Well, considering how weirdly things went when Elizabeth was brought to school in P3, this is probably going to be amazing.
Hey.
Well, typically we would, but we have to semi-lie and say it's fun in order to please her here.
Is that so?
Wow, like, have people ever actually tried to watch TV at school before?
What's up?
I know there were, like, portable handheld TVs, in some days, but they had really big, bulky antennas on them. I'm sure it would be really hard to actually sneak one of those into class. Yeah, she kind of wants to see the school. Sort of. Yeah. We'll say that she goes to, your school. Also, what could be special about our school? Okay, a few things. One, its name means 80 gods. Two, we have some really crazy teachers. And three, a whole ton of crazy stuff has happened to people who just happen to be students there. Seriously, Yasogami High is such a cool high school name. Although, every high school name in the Persona series always happens to be coincidentally fitting of that game's main theme. Gekkoukan means moonlight, and, yeah, Shujin Academy means prison school. Well, Shujin is funny. I'm sure I've said this before, but Shujin can mean either, like, Shujin, like, school can mean either the people's school or prisoner school. Retro was apparently like a main theme of a lot of the designs of P4, that whole sort of country feeling. Have I said before that Chie's overall design, according to the art book, was the one that influenced the overall tone of the game the most? It's just interesting knowing that. Yeah, we got a pretty big soccer pitch. Did we ever say she was from the city? Well, yeah, single room school, but then again, that could just mean she's homeschooled. The nose, huh? Is that what you call your teacher? I mean, seriously, Igor would actually be a really great teacher, I think. I would love to have Igor as a teacher.
Hey,
Yeah, there's quite a bit more. There's the roof, there's the practice building, there's the science labs. Oh, we should probably not let her near the science labs. Considering she doesn't know what electrical outlets are. That's true. Though still not nearly as weird as the average Ace Attorney court case. And hey, we did actually come to the rooftop. Well, this is where we eat each other's lunches for no reason. Also, there's a cat here sometimes. Yes, every time someone talks about youth like this, I always think of the way that it's brought up by two particular characters in Naruto who are just constantly obsessed with youth! Just thought of something, but I probably should focus more on this actual social link here. You spend youth with everyone. A lot of Japanese works do focus on youth quite a lot, but then again, it's probably because they are aimed at that kind of audience. Most people wouldn't really realize that because this game got an M rating in the US, but it definitely is aimed at teenagers. And of course, shonen, well, shonen literally means young boy, so it's not actually like a genre, it's a demographic. It's probably why youth is so commonly mentioned in shonen manga, because that's the target audience. But I'll stop now because this is actually a very important conversation. It basically sums up a lot of the themes of this game. It is easier to face yourself when you have other people you care about who you can confide in. None of these dialogue options give any points, by the way. The only one that's worth anything is the first one. All alone. That's not quite lost in thought, but still. Just mind the stalker as you go into the library. Yep, that's exactly what we've been doing. You don't really know much about that, do you? Almost makes me wonder what her shadow would be like. If she can even have one, considering she's not human. And I guess I was wrong, you don't actually need kanji in your party for this rank. So if I'm remembering right, rank 5 of Aeon can only be done after Rise officially joins the group, and that's not for a little while longer.
welcome home.
So there's no hospital job today, so we're gonna help that guy's life have meaning again and make a model. Yeah, what I was gonna say about that tangent that I was going on before is that I almost wonder how Little Karibo's spoof series show would have handled Might Guy if it ever reached that point, because Might Guy is one of those characters who his canon version is already so semi-abridged series-like that I just don't even know how you'd handle him in an abridged series. It's almost like how abridged Kaiba, I find, is almost identical as a character to canon Kaiba, just slightly more exaggerated. But anyway, today's Sunday, and you know what that means? We're gonna be nagged to watch the Home Shopping Channel again.
This is Ayane. Am I bothering you?
Oh, okay, that's interesting. But we're not told to accept this. Don't think we've ever actually seen you in your casual outfit before. Or at least your casual summer outfit. Now we're getting warned about the shopping channel, so what's on today? Armada Bustia, which we already have, but a second one is not terrible. 30 peach seeds. And 10 soul drops. Okay, yeah, the soul drop's the real reason you want to buy that. I am definitely going for the peach seed combo. That's pretty much a steal for 10 soul drops. And today the quest Acquire Hard Boots is becoming available. So we're gonna go into town, and we're going to check out the Daidara and buy those, and then we're going to give them to the guy with the quest, even though we haven't actually got that quest yet, and if I hadn't said it, you would have no way of actually knowing this quest is even available today, but yeah, I know this in advance. It's a quest by the guy at Yomenaido Bookstore. There's quite a few of these throughout the game, and they always reward you with new books. Yeah, I totally agree with this. In fact, most picture books are actually more meant for adults. I remember I studied a pretty interesting picture book back in high school called The Lost Thing, which they actually made into an animation, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Australian too. It's really interesting. Well, I already have some. And I had to kill a lot of disembodied hands for this, so you better appreciate it. We get Guide to Pests, and some money that doesn't really make up much in the way of the cost of the boots, but it's still a little bit. Hey, why aren't you with Errand Boy today?
Yeah.
But I am happy today because we're going to be spending time with Kanji. And Setanta.
Yeah.
Well, your place is right there. We've already stopped by. Yeah, we have not moved since you offered to stop by your place.
Senpai. The hell?
Well, that's something no one wants to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it was all one false alarm. Oh, well, that sucks. Hey, it's his mother.
Sorry.
I don't blame him for freaking out like that. No, it definitely takes a lot of effort to fully change. We now have his follow-up attack, which is pretty interesting. We'll hopefully see that next time. Yeah, we're friends with your son now. Well, oh, okay. I was about to say not a lot of people like hospitals, but... yeah. He probably saw, yeah, the same thing happening. I think it's kind of a combination of all of these. Yeah, that's basically how he became the Kanji we knew. Yeah, he's definitely getting things back on track. Kanji's social link is a big part of why I like him so much. It's not just his dungeon and his interactions in the main story. His social link explains a side of him that you don't really see during any of that. All of that past with his father, it's not really alluded to in the main game.
Back.
And tonight, we're going to be doing more model making. It takes a few nights to fully finish this model. I wonder if this one requires glue, or if it's like one of those Gunpla ones that are mostly like have flexible joins, and I always thought that was kind of interesting, the way that you can basically make posable models out of just sprues and stuff.